Markets set here, coiled and tight. Could we be seeing a move tomorrow? We'll get into that and a lot more here today. It is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. If you guys like the video, don't forget to give it a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. We've got sales going on here for a couple more weeks, so get in on that while you can. A lot to discuss today. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I would be very careful being short into the close right now. We have massive amounts of dealer buyback going on here. That's why this sell here early on today could not really get anything going. And right now, I think call sellers are, I'm just going to say it like it's a pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered situation. We have been boxed in this area for a long time here, and we have hammered on these highs for quite a while here, really. For the last couple of months, but really the last 2 weeks specifically. Each of these little dips here gets bought right back up here. And some of this areas, some of the sectors I talked about here this week are starting to show, right? I said going into this week, watch weakness in Microsoft, cloud to kind of continue. They got a nice, oversold bounce here. By the way, beautiful trend line there on IGV, Oracle. And they're coming back in right now. Why? Because weakness should beget weakness. They were oversold. They needed to bounce, but I think weakness will beget weakness for the next couple of weeks. What I say to watch for strength for Micron, SNDK, WDC, right? The memory stocks, and they have held up well, right? So that has been the case here. SMH also up 2.5. AMD, Broadcom having a decent day. Intel also up nicely. So SMH strong here. And, yesterday I didn't do a video, but I said to members, I was like, be careful shorting the close here. Everybody got bearish, yesterday because we had this little dip in the afternoon, but all we did was, and by the way, all we did today was just retest this little breakout here. A lot of noise inside of here. And from what I'm seeing here, SMH is really strong. And if they can't keep this down again, I'm telling you, call sellers are really playing with fire with this market. I think they want to make a run at 7,000, and they may break that. I mean, there's only so many times it can get hit. I mean, you got to figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times here, this year, since the 9th, really in the last month, and you've only been outside of this range twice, really. I would be really careful trying to fade this market, especially if there's dipping into the close here. I'm just going to say that right now, just so everybody's appraised. That's where I'm at right now. I don't think it's a good idea to be selling calls up here. There's real blowout risk. Seeing a lot of things that are suggesting that. You can see here as well on the hourly, very tight now on the SPX. S&P, still about the same there, but if you look at the E-mini, the 4 hours, it's asking to blow out here. It's asking to blow up. So we still have a nice bull flag there on the 4 hour as well as the hourly, despite that little sell. So just be careful. Just be careful here. This market's compressed. I don't mind this daily setup here either on the S&P or the E-mini. So a little pop, little inside there, and it's looking pretty decent. Breadth okay. I didn't mean to click on that, but breadth holding up pretty well too. For the most part, IWM was down a little bit today. That's obviously due to rates, and you got to laugh. We talked about this in the morning video. If you haven't checked that out already, and there's the closing bell. But if you haven't checked that out already, we do have that on the main channel, Carnivore Trades. We do the morning videos live there. Also check this video out if you haven't. This is required watching, I think, for anybody who's a trader. But nonetheless. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, how they, Lutnick and all of them yesterday, be careful, this jobs number, it might not be that good, it might not be that good. Oh, you got to temper your expectations. Then, of course, it doubled the estimates. But so bonds came in. But they held up pretty well on that level I talked about on TLT this morning. It held up by the end of the day, 88. And that ended up being a pretty decent, it was a little late for me to scalp it, but it ended up, holding up pretty well. I still think TLT's got some convexity, and we'll be watching this for pattern here moving forward. But yeah, IWM did come in a little bit here, but again, this came off the lows as well. Dow held up pretty well too. S&P at the end of the day closing flat, and the Nasdaq's leading. So Nasdaq closed green. I'm not going to take that as bearish right here. Anyway, IWM here, again, there you go, closing above the 20. Diamond into the trend line there. SMH was very strong, up 2.5. Don't get bearish when SMH is sitting right off all-time highs. Transports did come in. They made a new all-time high today and then just closed, flat to positive there. XHB up 25 cents. IYR, I wouldn't say a gap in crap. I mean, it was down like 39 cents. Not going to make a big deal out of that. Financials were on the softer side. Watch XLF here. This is probably your only area of concern, I would say, right now. We are retesting the 200. I just don't love the lower high there for the XLF. And we talked about this for last couple of weeks. Don't love that failed breakout there. I don't think this is going to break the market just yet, though. Especially when KRE is still, it was down 82 cents today, but it's still holding trend. XBD, that came in today too, down 2.29. We had HYG eking out a gain too, so that's kind of your other kind of thing that offsets it. But bonds were down across the board today, so it is what it is. Not going to really expect that to change. Oil with a nice move up 96 cents. That was kind of contradicting the rally we saw in bonds the last couple of days. So bonds were lying. Oil was telling the truth, but again, they're working on this deal here, and I would not want to be on the wrong side of oil if that happens. I might want to buy the dip after that deal, but I don't want to be getting involved in a geopolitical. I mean, Netanyahu's at the White House right now, and I think they're going to try and come up with a deal. That's what I'm hearing from my sources. So just be careful with oil here, and again, also be careful being short the market in general. XLE up 2.6, humongous move here. This, a little island-esque, so just be careful with that. XOP, beautiful move. We talked about that. I'm looking to buy a dip in this. Should that give us a chance? So that looks pretty good. OYH, you guys know this has been my favorite, up 3.5, and that's still going. That's up over 100 points since up over 100 points now from my original entry. So that is doing very well. By the way, speaking of Exxon here, only another $45 to go to be a $1 trillion market cap. And I think that's where it wants to go. Dollar index, nice rebound here. So trying for the higher low here. So there's two scenarios, right? Right now we got, 1, 2, 3 zigzag type deal. If it gets above 98, that's bullish here, and then the bear setup, I think it would probably have to maybe kind of pause for a couple days and then tries to break down. It's really that simple here. Gold had a nice day up 1.5. What I liked here is silver. I'm gonna look at SLV though, particularly the cash session. So SLV up 4.25, but look at what it did. We had the dip early on, and it just firmed right up, and it was sticky. It was sticky. That sticky is good. Especially when you're looking for an asset that's been struggling to rebound, and it held, it held the gains all day, so it held that gap up, and this is trying to curl up a little bit here. So I think this can make another run towards that 95 handle, and it's starting to hold that momentum here, so that is good. Starting to see a little bit of a shift there. Platinum similar, but still got to clear that 50-day, and then palladium here, same kind of look. Copper up 1.2, that's still above trend and holding all the moving averages. Lastly, Bitcoin, again, like I've been saying, again, strength begets strength here. Weakness begets weakness. It's not like it's that weak. It came off the lows here, but nobody wants to buy the dip, right, until this happens, right? And now they get let me circle it better. Until that happens, right, that candle. Now they get confidence. They say, oh, it's a flag, so they jump in, and, right, they're not going to just hand you money, right? I could see this easily happening here with Bitcoin. Or at the very least, like what it just did, and then a move up. But I still think path of least resistance here in the kind of like macro sense, like over the next couple of weeks, is higher. but I could see it, maybe dipping first. So it's holding up well. We'll see what we did into the close here. Yeah, just kind of a chop there. IWM upticked a little bit, but yeah, I would be really careful holding shorts overnight in this market. It's not safe at all, and that's what I'll leave it at for now. So, anyways, guys, let's wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.